Selling in the billions each year, Rainbow Mealworms is your one-stop shop for all your insect needs. Their quality feeders and A-plus customer service keep me coming back to support the health and growth of all of our animals. Visit them today at rainbowmealworms.net to place your order.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the 77th live that I've done. Actually, I've done more lives because now I'm keeping track of guest appearances and our original lives separately. But nonetheless, welcome, welcome. As always, please let me know if there is an issue with the sound or anything like that. I appreciate you guys being here. I see that the resolution is super low. I'm going to change that right quick and should get me a little bit more clearer. There we go. So Carter, Krusty, Grady. Right off the bat, Grady's got a question. So let's go ahead and tackle that question. For Grady, Womack asks, I'm ready to learn. I actually need help right now. Perfect timing. One of my pet Leos from Petco has an issue. I need your help on what to do. So go ahead and drop whatever that issue is, and we'll try to diagnose that for you. So how long do you think it takes for juvenile crested geckos to finish a 2-ounce bag of Pangea? So a 2-ounce bag of Pangea, I don't buy the 2-ounce bag, so I'm trying to think of what that is. I'm guessing it's like that big or something. A juvenile crested gecko, if you only feed it a little amount like you're supposed to every whatever, like 3 times a week, it depends how much you feed your crested gecko. If you feed your gecko every day, that little pouch would probably last a month or two. If you feed your gecko every 2 to 3 days, that pouch would probably last 3 to 4 months. And it also depends how much you feed your geckos. For a juvenile crested leopard gecko, we're talking a very small portion. We're talking, let me see if I have something here that might be similar. So for a juvenile crested gecko, we're talking about something maybe the size of the end of this highlighter cap. So you see the end of that highlighter cap, maybe a glob of food that big, and you don't want it very high. So it's just a very, I would even say for a juvenile, depending on how big the juvenile is, half the size of the end of this highlighter stick to the full size. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you give me more details of how big your gecko is, like how many grams your gecko is, that would help me. But typically, if your juvenile is around 10 grams, then you're probably going to be looking about half the size of this highlighter cap. Oh, right there. Perfect. You see that little dot right there? So if your juvenile is about 10 grams, probably one of those dot sizes every other day or every third day. And then that should last you about 2 to 3 months. Pro tip or tip on buying Pangea, if you buy it in bulk, you're going to save a little bit more money. So if that's why you're trying to make this calculation, I would just recommend just trying to buy the bigger bag. But so hope you guys are doing good. I was almost considering putting this stream off until tomorrow because I'm feeling a little bit under the weather and I still got some cleaning of geckos to do today. But I did see that, Grady chimed into the chat and said he had a question, and I'm really trying to be consistent with Monday nights. So I figured I'd pop on here for a short amount of time. I probably can't give you guys as much time tonight, but I could give a little bit of time, and at least that keeps up the consistency. So D's Gex, what's going on, man? I see your geckos on Morph Market because I just uploaded a bunch of geckos to Morph Market as well. Here's a fun video idea. I might make an idea, if you guys don't know, there's a way to bulk import all of your geckos to Morph Market. So you can upload like 20 or 30 geckos at a time, and it makes it a cinch compared to doing it individually. So I might make a video on that because there's a little confusion around that. There's some old data out there as far as how it used to be done and how it could be done now. And even the original data on how to do that was not that clear. It was a little confusing and it never worked for me. And then I tried it recently and did a few different things, and I figured out a way to get it. So Cresties to eat Creeping fig fruit. Creeping fig fruit. So Krusty's asked, is it okay for Krusty's to eat fig fruit? So I'm not sure what creeping fig fruit is, but if you mean that it's actual figs like from a tree or from the grocery store, yes, they can. If if they're willing to eat it, which they might be reluctant, but if they're willing to eat it, you can feed your crested geckos fruit, like actual fruit. Um, but actual fruit does not contain like all the nutrients and stuff they need, which is why the crested gecko diet is best. Now, if creeping fig fruit is a crested gecko diet, then I would just have to look to see what that is. Let me see if I can look that up real quick. Creeping fig fruit. Um, no, it's not a crested gecko diet, though there is a crested gecko diet, figs and insects. So I don't know if you want to try that. But I know nothing about creeping fig fruit, so I can't really speak to that. Um, Sounds kind of rare. I don't know if a lot of crested gecko breeders are going to know for sure. There's a lot of fruits and stuff out there that isn't tested because we just mainly use the crested gecko diet in the crested gecko and gargoyle world. So I would not push it. It could be like a crab apple. It could be like poisonous to them. You don't know. So as fun as it sounds to try to feed your geckos a certain type of fruit, if you're unsure, it's best just to leave it alone and not do it. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you need some more clarity on that, or you need to correct me on something I wasn't understanding correct. So just had a tangerine rainwater hatch. It's yellow orange base and purple orange with a white dot behind each eye. That's really cool, DNS. I will probably get into rainwater and stuff in the future. For now, I'm just holding strong with the Tremper just because I can breed Tremper to Tremper, and so I can breed everything in my collection since my whole collection is Tremper. Um, Same with what is it, Mac Snow. So I was talking to somebody the other day about Gem Snow and Tug Snow, and as of right now, I'm not working with Gem or Tug or experimenting with those because I'm happy with Mac. Mac gives me the results I'm looking for. It has a super form, and everything in my collection is Mac Snow centered, so to speak. So I can breed everything to each other and not worry about mixing lines. All right, we'll see you, Krusty. Go ahead. Good luck with everything. And then Grady, yeah, if you have that question, let me know. I got a super snow, max snow, and a tug snow right now for breeding. Yeah, one day I would like to do some more testing on whether the tug snow and the gem snow are the same genetic, and also whether the tug and gem are the max snow, because I heard that recently, and I haven't heard that in a long time. But somebody big in the hobby claimed that recently that tug and gem might be the same thing, and so I was like, okay, well, that might be worth testing then in the future. So cool thing tonight is Tuesday night? No, Monday night. Duh. Tomorrow, Tuesday night. If you guys missed our episode with Shanae, the bug girl, she's actually going to be on America's Got Talent. So I don't know if you guys watch America's Got Talent, but my wife and I watch it like religiously. So we watch it every single week. I think it's so cool that she's opening up the exotic hobby of reptiles to America's Got Talent. She auditioned. They told her she'll be on the show. So if you want to see something cool, Shanae the Bug Girl on America's Got Talent. I can't say what her act is or what she's going to do, but she did tell us don't feel bad for her. And she is representing the exotic community of animal keeping, which reptiles fall into, invertebrates fall into. If you missed that episode that we interviewed her, it was a great episode, and I hope you watch it. Not too late, Bam Bam. I started a little bit early today just because uh, we had some water issues in my house, and that took some time to troubleshoot that early in the day. And so I'm a little bit behind on what I wanted to accomplish for cleaning today. On top of that, I am a little bit like under the weather. So all of that culminating, I'll be here for a little bit. I'll probably do like a half-hour stream tonight, just kind of vibe with you guys a little. What's going on, Brooke? It's good to see Brooke in here. We've lost Brooke. She's moved on to bigger and better things. So unfortunately, she's not going to be around as much anymore. I'm just kidding. She's always down to help out, and she was just asking me the other day about our TEGU eggs. She loves hatching out TEGU eggs. But I don't know if you want to share the good news with them, Brooke. But Brooke got a job at a like animal veterinary care place, and so she'll be spending a lot of time there working towards the ultimate career that she's looking for. So definitely wishing her well there. And I know we're going to see a lot of her still, and she'll be doing shows with us when she can. And I'm sure she'll be in Geeky Gecko Creations future for a long time. So the next Feature Friday, I'm actually confirming with them right now because sometimes things come up and things happen, but it's going to be the retake of Thomas from Tucson's Finest Leos and Junior from Junior's Geckos. One of the reasons I want to highlight these two guys is because they're a little bit more civil and also open-minded in the leopard gecko community. Like they probably both don't agree with me breeding lemon frost, but at the same time, they're not willing to like shut me out because of it, like a lot of breeders are. Um, Even though our goal with lemon frost again is to make healthy animals, I had someone again today that was, I don't want to say harassing, but looking for a fight. So somebody messaged me. They do from time to time, looking for a fight, right? You could explain your point of view a million times. I could explain my point of view a million times. If somebody doesn't want to actually have a conversation with you, they're just going to yell at you. They're just going to call you names. They're just going to give you a hard time. And that's what I mean by pick a fight. So I sent him a few messages, and my last message to him was, look, I'm sorry. I can't argue with you right now. I'm all down for arguing. I'm down for presenting different points and having a discussion with you. But just the way you're going about it and whatnot, I don't have time for it right now. So did you ever see that Pure Clown? What Pure Clown, Bam Bam? I can take a look on it on Instagram or something if it's there. But so Tucson's Finest Leos, again, they're more younger, open-minded breeders, but they also have some really cool projects. So as of right now, I don't focus on Matt Baranik's line of clown, but Tucson's Finest Leos does. There is not a lot of pure clown breeders in the United States. Let me say that again. Even though clown is one of the most expensive genetics out there, there is not a lot of original clown line, Matt Baranik of Sasselbeck Reptiles. There's not a lot of breeders out there that are producing them in mass. And Tucson's Finest Leos has invested thousands of dollars into collecting Matt's original line. So I think that's really cool. And Junior's Geckos has spent thousands of dollars working the Purple Head project. So he decided to go a different route. He started with Clown, changed up his mind, went to Purple Head, and it'll be interesting to talk about those two projects with those guys, as well as talk about what I'm doing in my projects, because all three of us have different projects and we're all friends. So it's pretty cool. It's nice when your projects don't overlap with people you're close to, because then you can trade geckos and DNA and stuff like that. So Norman, hello. Brooke, we haven't lost you. I appreciate that. I can come over for next week's live stream. Yeah, let me make sure that everything's I'll talk to you about it. I'll see if we're planning on doing next week's live stream on time and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes there's little delays that I go through, Brooke, and so it's nice to like not be on the shot clock and not have a set schedule necessarily where I'm like, oh, I absolutely have to start at 7:00 on the dot or I'm over with. I really try to start 7:00 on the dot. But yeah, we'll talk about that. See if you can come over for the live stream. Or maybe we'll feature you on a live stream as well, because let me pull up our calendar here. We got some pretty cool people we're featuring, and I'm still in communication with others. So this Friday, Thomas and Junior from Tucson's Finest Leos and Junior's Geckos will be on. Next Friday, for all you bearded dragon lovers, my good friend out here, John of Extreme Dragons AZ, he has some of the best bearded dragons in the hobby. He'll be on. And then the 29th, we get to actually hash it out and have our full conversation with Robbie of Robbie's Reptiles. Then next month is pretty cool. In August, we have two technology companies that I'm really looking forward to interviewing. One of them is VivTech. So they're a technology of caring for your reptiles in a modern, most up to date, and most hospitable way. So it's the top end technology in the reptile hobby right now. Why that's important and where the technology in the hobby is going. They will be on August 12th. And then for all you guys who are looking to vend shows or learn more about vending, Next Level Design, Next Level Displays is a new company that is making display boxes that come with lighting and heat pads inside of the box. So if you know anything about vending a show, those shows are freezing. You can ask Brooke. When we take our reptiles there and you touch them, they are freezing to the touch because those rooms are 65, 70 degrees, and those animals are cold. So there is a company called Next Level Displays that actually has built-in heat pads in their display cases and also lighting. Really cool stuff. A lot of the top breeders are using them. They are very expensive. I think it's like $900 for like a 3-tier system, which is like 10 to 15 animals for $900 that it holds. But all the big breeders that can afford it are kind of going to that direction just because they realize that it's a better way to care for the animals over a show. So. Oh, I'll have to check that. Bam Bam, you sent a picture in the AZ Leopard Gecko group. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We have an AZ Leopard Gecko group. So Joshua Sikora, pretty cool. Good to have you here. See, Brooke wants to help. She can clean cages, then do the stream. Yeah, we'll definitely touch base, Brooke, and see if that'll be something good for us to plan there, plan around that. Yeah, Brooke is right. So she says that we actually are the heat source for the reptiles at the show. So the leopard geckos don't necessarily get held 24/7, but a lot of the snakes do. So like I can show one of our cover photos on our website. Check this out. One of our cover photos on our website is Brooke and I and us holding the reptiles. So see, like Whitney's holding this banana black pastel ball python. I'm holding this super pastel puzzle ball python. And then Brooke is holding our big Dumerals boa male named Hulk. So at the shows, what we all do for the snakes, if we're displaying snakes, showing them off, is we will often hold them because they absorb your body heat and they'll actually be warm to the touch. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, Henry Hicks says it would be cool to have Brooke on the stream. So we'll definitely see if she either streams with us or we feature her or what happens. We'll try to make something happen for sure. Yep. Brooke said show one of me and Hulk. There we go. And there's also some more pictures that we have down here of some school events and stuff that we're doing. Here is Hulk right here, our big Dumerals boa at a show with some kids and a mom, some more kids holding Hulk. So Brooke is like our designated Hulk displayer. She will take Hulk around the show. She'll help people hold Hulk because he's just a big, gentle sweetheart. And Brooke knows the safety protocol with her. These people were super happy because this guy was like afraid of snakes, or his wife thought that he would never hold a snake, and then Brooke convinced them to hold the snake. So it's good to have good help. Brooke is good help. She's a good-hearted person. She cares about animals, good personality, and whenever you're passionate about something, that's going to rub off on people and spread, and people are going to be open to doing things that they might not. So Bam Bam asks, how are the groups going? So far, the groups of leopard geckos are going great. No serious fighting or any issues like that I can really pinpoint that is like universal across every group. There might be a couple geckos here and there that might get a little bit skinny, or and if they are, you can remove them and put them into their own tub, because that just might mean that they don't like being in a group setting. There is a channel that I'm going to share with you guys that I've been watching a lot of, and it is, I think it's called Animals at Home, and it's about increasing awareness and the quality of the reptiles that we keep. And this guy is a podcaster, and he's very passionate about talking about reptiles in a way to optimize their care. So if you look at this, optimizing your reptile's diet. Maybe it wasn't this guy, but there was a live stream that I was watching with him and a group of other breeders. I'll have to see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it here, because I was watching it yesterday, I believe. And the good thing about it is it just talks about different theories of how we should be keeping reptiles and improving the way that we keep reptiles. Anyway, one of the topics that they were talking about was touch and interaction from reptile to reptile, and how they think that here we go, Animals at Home. So it must have just been an old stream, because I didn't see it on his new stream. But this episode that I'm watching is called "Are All Natural Behaviors Necessary in Captivity?" It's a round table between a bunch of people that are very into the keeping reptiles to the optimum way that we can, and treating them more like cats and dogs, right? So like, we're always looking to improve our cats and dogs care, and their ideology is that reptiles are not just lesser beings that we can kind of throw in a tub and just forget about, like they're, I was going to say like they're a bug, but even some people value bugs. Like, look at Shanae. Shanae doesn't, the person that we just interviewed last Friday, she specializes in bugs. She doesn't like it when people kill bugs, because she has a passion for bugs, and there's so much that we don't know about animal, not technology, but like animal reality, right? So like, some trees in the forest release a pheromone when they're getting cut down to like warn other trees or something like that there's like an enemy in the area. I'll have to look that up, but I remember hearing something like that a while ago. And they release a defense mechanism to try to ward off the people that are trying to cut them down or harm them. Maybe like birds are trying to nest in them. So if a tree does not have feelings, like if it doesn't have a nervous system, like you pinch me, I'm going to scream ow because I feel it, because I have a nervous system. What if trees and insects have not a nervous system, but what if they have a way to feel emotions or feel thoughts or feel pain? What if they have a different way that stimulates their mind? Like, insects still have a brain, right? That stimulates their mind or stimulates their body to react to pain. Because I've never seen a bug that doesn't react to pain, that doesn't react to something harmful happening to it. If you rip the leg off of a bug, the bug knows that you just ripped its leg off. So we could argue that it doesn't have a nervous system and therefore should not feel pain, and therefore we could treat it as a lesser being because it's not cruel, because it doesn't have a nervous system. But do we really know? We're learning more and more every single day. So anyway, these people are just theorizing on different behaviors that reptiles exhibit and ways to improve on their quality of keeping. And one of the things that they talk about is interaction from gecko to gecko. Now, baby leopard geckos do this a lot. If you house baby leopard geckos together, 9.999999 times out of 10, they will sleep together for the majority of the time. Even if they get a little bit nippy with each other, which does happen, it's not completely gonna happen every time, but sometimes a gecko is going to lose a piece of a tail if you keep them with another gecko. Even if they do that with each other, they still choose to huddle up together, even if they have multiple hides and even if they have a big area to go to. So that's telling us that there is some kind of communication and interaction between their physical touch. So that's the type of topics that these guys are talking about. In addition to that, I have been herping out here in Arizona for the cousin of the leopard gecko, which is called the Coleonyx gecko. And oftentimes you'll find those geckos together, not necessarily in large numbers, but you might find them in twos or threes, all underneath a log, and they could be different sizes. And so another thing that's telling me is that they don't necessarily completely not mind each other's presence. There's a video that supports this. Let me see if I can show this to you as well. Anyway, the reason I say all that is because there's always more that we could learn. If you check this out, check out this video of wild leopard geckos in the wild. Now, this guy could have caught all these geckos in different locations and then put them together, but this is his video of wild leopard geckos, and he shows them kind of moving around and like looking for caves and stuff like that. And we don't know if he caught all of these geckos in the same area, but you can see right here that these geckos are not automatically freaked out by each other's presence. And I would venture to say, I might have commented. Yeah, look, I commented on this guy. I said, I'm trying to find you on Messenger. What's your name? I want to ask you more questions about geckos in their natural environment, because I would love to get information on that. So hi, okay, I will provide you all wild information about leopard geckos. Contact me on Messenger. So Pack Geographic. Let's see if we could find him on Messenger or Facebook. Pack Geographic. Anyway, if leopard geckos react in any way close to their cousins over here in Arizona, the Coleonyx gecko, you're probably going to find them in groups in caves, small groups in caves. So they do have interaction with each other, and they commonly come into interaction with each other. All Pakistan Geographer Association. So I'll have to spend some time. Let me reply to this guy, actually. Thank you. What is your Facebook page? So I would love to learn more about leopard geckos in the wild. And if we could get that guy on a live stream, we'll get him on a live stream. Because wouldn't that be cool to get firsthand accounts from people in the Middle East that see leopard geckos? So the groups of leopard geckos are doing good. For the most part, I'm not seeing any prolapsed hemipenes, which is what I was concerned about for the males. I'm not seeing any geckos that are beat up too bad. There's a little bit of fighting, a little bit of scarring, but for the most part, a gecko's skin and whatnot is going to be able to handle that. You know, crested geckos are kept in groups. Gargoyle geckos can be kept in groups. So geckos can definitely be kept in groups. I can't, until I experiment more with this, I can't give my 100% like guarantee on how I feel. But as of right now, the conditions that I'm seeing the geckos in is good to the point where I'm not concerned about it, and I'm not like separating out geckos and everything like that. A matter of fact, I haven't separated out any geckos. So that tells you that the groups that I'm seeing, and we have about 30 to 35 breeding groups, all 35 of those groups, which is like 150 to 200 animals, all of them are doing okay. So that's good statistics, but I want to keep studying those statistics, you know, and, you know, like hopefully this is not going to happen, but if you start to see missing legs and geckos dying from fighting, then that's definitely something to like take note of. But there's a lot of big breeders that do groups. So Matt Baronic of Saddleback Reptiles, Ron Tremper did some groups. Who's the other group breeder? My mind is blanking on me right now. But there's a lot of leopard gecko breeders that have successfully done the group tactic, and they're either not sharing the bad things that happen, or the bad things that happen are rare enough to the point where it's not so bad. Now, would I recommend it for somebody that has a smaller collection? No. If I could afford to, my preference would still be to keep geckos in a one-to-one in the individual tub. But when you're breeding geckos, 200 females, 300 females, or more, I just don't really think that that is feasible to do it in a one-to-one tub setting. I think once you're at that level, you kind of have to do the group breeding. And if things do go wrong, you could just start separating out the geckos that are fighting with each other or having issues. NBK Reptiles, that's another Canadian breeder that does groups. And a lot of these people that are doing groups, they keep their geckos in smaller caging than I do. And they keep a less, Brian Barczyk too. Brian Barczyk does groups. And they keep a less ratio of males to females. So if you leave one male and one female together overnight in a tub, the male is absolutely going to pester that female, and she may harshly retaliate back, and he may harshly get more dominant with her, because I've seen males that, like, a female doesn't want to breed, right? And she tries to get away, she tries to squirm, and the male won't give up. He'll try to subdue her and hold her down, and sometimes she submits. Other times, after 2 or 3 times of fighting against him, she'll submit. So that's why I usually say wait 30 seconds to a minute before you remove the male, because if she submits, then she's going to breed with him. But if she does not submit, he will keep chasing her around the cage, and that's when really bad things can happen. I've seen leopard geckos get their arms ripped off. So, because of that, I prefer not to do the one-on-one breeding. What do I mean by that? If a male is with a female overnight, the male is going to try to breed with that female for the next 12 hours or 24 hours until you remove that male. That's when bad things can happen. If the male is with 4 females and one of the females rejects him, he's quickly going to move on to another female, because there's so many females going on and so many pheromones going on. He's just going to try to breed with any or all of those females, and it spreads the attention of the male to multiple females so that no one female gets picked on. Listening to this and upgrading my gecko room to expand the breeding project. Yeah, if groups really, really work out super, super well, I'll do a video on it to show you what I recommend for a group setup, and like warning signs to look out for and when to separate geckos if you need to. Again, like I said, it's been a month now, and for 300 geckos or 200 geckos, I haven't had the need to separate any from their group. Nothing's been bad enough, doesn't mean that something couldn't happen and that I'll have to take that course of action. But that just shows you that it's not like something bad's automatically going to happen when you keep your geckos in groups. But I would recommend the 1 male leopard gecko to 4 female leopard geckos in the 28 quart tub, so. Potential topic for next week, if I'm on, could be tegus and mites. Pixel got wood mites in her cage. She has since been completely treated. Yeah, that would be a good topic. Mites and mold can get on wood, but I did not think that mites would actually, like wood mites, would suck the blood or hurt a tegu. I would just think that they would live in the soil or live on wood, but maybe I'm wrong. That would be a good topic to talk about. Bam Bam's Geckos, you go into the reptile show in Vegas. Nah, I would love to. So my plan for reptile shows is, as our company expands, I would love to get a travel van. So a van that we could put all our supplies into and travel to California, Nevada, New Mexico, Texas even, and do shows all around this Western hemisphere. So one day, Bam Bam, that'll be the goal, and we could definitely meet up and hang out and stuff like that. So definitely going to try to do 1 male, 4 females next season. Yeah, and this might sound kind of insensitive or bad, but when you're working on a larger scale like I am, um, the risk is worth the reward. So please don't take this the wrong way. I don't want any of our animals to suffer at all, but the risk of there being a problem with the group setup is worth the reward of it being possible to run an operation of 300 plus females. If I was not able to do the group setup, then I might have to downsize to like 100 females, let's say, or increase the amount of time that I spend with leopard geckos compared to all the other species that we keep. That's something that you can consider as well, but the risk might not be worth the reward for you. For example, if you only have 4 females and 1 male, you have to ask yourself, is the risk of my male prolapsing because he's trying to breed too much? Or is the risk of one of my females getting their arms ripped off by a male that is too aggressive and relentless? Or the risk of a male getting his eye gouged out by a female that fights back? Is the risk worth the reward for the amount of geckos that I have? That would be one question that I would pose to everybody. And that's why I say, if I had the actual, not choice, because we all have a choice. If I had the actual ability to have as many geckos as I have and still keep them in individual tubs and breed them one-on-one and watch each leopard gecko breed for 15 minutes at a time and remove that gecko and breed him again the next day, that would be my preference, because that system worked really, really well for me until I got 300 female breeders, and that system is just not going to work with 300 female breeders. So I have to upgrade to a different system. Now, Matt Baronic, Brian Barczyk, NBK Reptiles, and other breeders have already experimented and done group setup scenarios to the point where I studied what they did, and then I put together a plan for what I wanted to do. And so far, so good. It's working out good. And so I would like to make videos on that for people in the future if they would like to take that option. But again, is the risk of injury to your geckos worth the reward of just the convenience of having them all in one tub and not needing to watch them breed and not needing to clean 5 tubs and you could just clean 1 tub? And I'll also say this. Shoot, I just lost my thought. Feeding, humidity. There was something else I was going to say about the groups. Man, remove the male after a certain period of time. So you could leave the male in for 1 week or 2 weeks, or if you have many, many geckos, you could cycle him every 4 days through a different tub. So that's what I'm doing right now with our Black Knight male and our Mandarin male. Those are our 2 most expensive males. I'm cycling them through every tub on a basis of how many females are in that tub. So if there's 4 females in that tub, I will leave the male in there with them for 4 days and then I'll move the male to the next tub for 4 days, and then the next tub for 4 days. If I come across a tub that only has 2 females in it, then I'll only leave him in there for 2 days. So my rule of thumb right now is a 1 day to 1 female ratio. So the male will be in the tub for as many days as there are females in that tub. That gives him uh, uh, 4 total days to breed with 4 total geckos. And then he'll go through all of the tubs, breed all of the girls that he has to, and make his way back to girls, tub number 1 again. You can give the males a break. Like you could put them like 4 days in with the females and then like 3 days off. You could do that if you want. But again, I have so many geckos that I have to cycle these males through all these tubs. I haven't been giving my males any breaks, and they've been perfectly fine. Now, that being said, I don't prefer to do it that way. I prefer to have one male that will fertilize one tub so that I can just leave him in there so that I could pair him in that tub many, many times and get the best fertility rates. So that's why we have held back 40 temperature sex male babies from the mandarin tangerine male that's breeding to all of those groups. He's our best quality male. We are holding back 40 of his babies to see which ones turn out to be males, because if I have 40 groups next year, if I have 40 tangerine groups, I want one male per group. Does that make sense? I want one male fertilizing one group. That would be my ideal ratio, because then the females in that group get the most fertilization to be able to have the best fertility rates. So if I take a male and I put him in the tub for 4 days, and then he doesn't go back to that tub for 2 months, let's say he doesn't get back to that tub for 2 months. Let's say those females rejected him, or let's say those females didn't receive him, or let's say he wasn't feeling frisky and he didn't breed those females. It's going to be 2 months of girls not laying eggs when they could be laying eggs because I'm short on males. So there, take that for what it's worth. Tony Corral, I was just looking over your review on our website today. The 19th of this month will be, man. So Tony Corral, check him out on Facebook. He bought a Tegu from us last year. Tegu's doing great. He's got this thing trained to vocal commands without a leash, out on his patio with no fence. It's pretty crazy stuff. That just shows the intelligence of the Tegu lizard. So Apex, you know where I can get 3 or 4 VE 28 watt radiant heat panels? I don't. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't. If anybody does, please let Apex Geckos know. You can find them on Facebook or Instagram, Apex Geckos. But I would maybe ask reptile groups in your area or reptile groups in general. I would maybe look on Google or go directly to VE, which stands for what, like Vivarium Electronics. Go directly to their website and see if maybe you can. Also check your local Craigslist, your local OfferUp, and your local Facebook classifieds, you know. Do you leave the male in the group all season? Yep, I think I just answered that question. We do 4 days, he's in the tub, and then he goes to the next tub. And as soon as I can, I want to cycle him back into that tub so that whatever girls need more fertilization, they get it. Now, let me say this. If I go into a tub with girls, the girls of the male, and there's a lot of eggs in there. Let's say I'm pulling like 10 to 12 eggs a week. Then that's telling me all of those girls are fertile, or most of them are fertile. And then I don't need to pair him as much to that tub. Does that make sense? So if I have one tub of girls that I'm getting 12 eggs every 2 weeks from, 12 eggs comes from 12 eggs. Hold on. My brain's tired. Let me do the math. 12 No, that wouldn't be happening every 2 weeks. 8 eggs. Let's say every 2 weeks I'm pulling somewhere between 6 to 8 eggs. That means that 3 or 4 of those girls, which could be all of them, are gravid and they receive the male sperm. And if the eggs have embryos in them, then I might not put the male back in there until a month or two later when those girls might need to be repaired because the girls are probably going to reject him. If they're already gravid and you put the male back in there, the girls are probably going to reject him and give him a hard time, and you're just risking injury for nothing. So if I notice that a tub is absolutely producing a ton of eggs, then I might mark the tub so that I don't repair that tub for another month or two, or I don't attempt to. Will cycling the male match the ovulations of the female? So I only put females in a tub that are all ovulating at the same time. So I hope that helps. They start ovulating at the same time, or they all are ovulating at the same time, even if one started a month prior than one. The way that I set my tubs up is genetics. I'll show this in the video, but I have right now, I have 8 tubs of just Inferno Emerine girls. And then I have 4 to 6 tubs of Inferno to Mandarin females. And then I have tubs of white and yellow and bold females. Then I have tubs of wild type geckos. So I separate all my geckos based on the same genetics and whether they're ovulating. If a girl stops ovulating, I might put her in her own tub until all the girls are done ovulating, and then I'll move them and keep them in a group in the off season until they all start ovulating together again. I haven't been through one season to test this thoroughly, but I heard that if the girls are all kept together all year long, they'll tend to ovulate all at the same time and whatnot. So. See you, Apex. All right. Well, I really, really thank you guys for all being here. We had some really good topics of conversation. I did want to make tonight's live stream a little bit shorter just because I'm cleaning babies right now, and I really want to prioritize that tonight and get that done. I also have to clean and feed Crested Geckos tonight. So, see, this is what I mean by keeping the adults in groups. If I kept adults individually, I wouldn't be able to do everything else that I need to for the business. So that's why it got to a point where I just needed to absolutely do the groups. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'll make more videos. I know I haven't made a good educational video in a while, but it's my goal to do so. Hopefully this week, over the next couple of days, I'll make and shoot and edit an educational video or an entertainment video. Maybe I'll do a video on group breeding, but I haven't done it long enough to where I really want to speak on it just yet. So I'm going to continue experimenting, continue trying. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Have a geeky gecko great night. And I will see you in the near future. All right? Peace. Love you guys.
Selling in the billions each year, Rainbow Mealworms is your one-stop shop for all your insect needs. Their quality feeders and A+ customer service keep me coming back to support the health and growth of all of our animals. Visit them today at rainbowmealworms.net to place your